Good morning, day 13. Watching the Breaking Bad marathon on AMC, but I gotta pry myself away and trim the pumpkin in the front yard. Another windy day out here. This is like the second or third day we've had gusty winds, and as you probably can hear, it's blowing on the mic pretty well. So let's get to trimming the pumpkin out here. So the first cut I want to make, this is the end of the pumpkin vine, and right after where the pumpkin is on the vine there, I'll snip it here and take all that away. So what that does is put the energy into the plant and produce the fruit instead of growing out the vine and put the energy into the fruit. So the first cut I want to make, this is the end of the pumpkin vine. So looking at this vine here, it goes nowhere. There's no flowers or fruit on it. So what I'll do is just snip it right here at the base, and hopefully, by my judgment, I snipped the right one. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I think I snipped the right one. Well, as you can see, I should have looked first, and I just snipped off one of the pumpkin vines and the pumpkin. So I just lost one, but make sure you snip the right one. So at the end of this vine here, comes up to a cross section right there, and I'll snip it right there. And then I'll snip it down below here. And all of this is just vine. There's no pumpkin on that side. And on this one, there's the end of the vine. And we come up, and here's the pumpkin right there. And I'll stick it right behind it. And here's another pumpkin. The vine goes out all this way. Nothing else on it. So I'll come up and right behind, snip it right there. So this long vine over on this one has nothing on it, but I can only snip it right about here, as all of that is connected over to those two there. So all the other vines outside of the fence didn't need to be trimmed. They had little pumpkins growing or flowers, so I left those alone. So while I'm at it, I'll give you a tour of my isopod bin, which are also known as potato bugs or roly-polies. These guys have been living over a year in this, and that there are potatoes. There were 3 potatoes, but as you can see, they like to be chowed down on. And under here, they're not too keen on the light either. They like to hide underneath the bark. And that's coffee grounds. And for a treat, I'll give them pumpkin vine. So they'll snack on that. And there's babies in here underneath some of this. I'm not going to move around too much. There's quite a few right there. And they like a moist environment. They have two antennae at the rear of their butt, actually. And that's where they suck up the moisture from. They dip those down into water or whatever's moist, and that's how they drink and hydrate themselves. And here it is afterwards. I gave them quite a bit of vine to snack on. They probably think it's Christmas, and I'll see how that how they like it. If they like the vine, if not, I can always put that in the flow through, which I'll put the other vine and pumpkin in to the one I have in my bedroom or in the living room. That's where I'm putting all the vines, and the pumpkin will go in the flow through in my bedroom. And what I'll do with a pumpkin here is just set it on top of the flow through and let the worms eat from the bottom up. It'll take over a month for that to rot. I'm not going to cut it. I'll just leave it the way it is, and they'll work their way around the bottom as it starts, as it rots. I'm looking for any worms here that I can show you. There's one right there. He's just happy sitting on top. So my neighbor's tree blew down earlier today. And that's what it looks like, hanging up on the power line. Just lucky it blew this way and not over onto my brother's car right here.